Good morning, sir. Would you tell us your name and DOC number?
Darrell Douse 706-169.
All right, Mr. Douse, good morning. You're here for a revocation decision this morning. Do you have a parole revocation questionnaire there in front of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your signature at the bottom of that page dated July 21st of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. According to your answers to those questions, you're not eligible for appointed counsel, so you're ready to proceed this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to read the allegations against you. Did you expect your attorney today? Oh, I do. I do see Jacob McCarty is here. Sir, would you enter your name for the record?
Yes, good morning. Jacob McCarty on behalf of Darrell Douse, who's present via Zoom.
Thank you. And then we also have your wife, Dominisha Walker, who's also here. So I'll read the allegations against you, after which you'll enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. And then I'd ask that maybe your attorney to give us his presentation, and then we'll hear from your wife before we vote. You'll be allowed to make a statement along the way also. So, Mr. Douse, you're accused of violating the conditions of your parole, specifically condition number 4. You failed to refrain from criminal activity as evidenced by your arrest on October 11, 2023 by the New Orleans Police Department for domestic abuse battery. The charge was refused by the DA's office on October 25th, 2023. So how do you plead to violating condition number 4, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Next is condition number 10. As of November 13th, 2023, you have an arrearage of $580 in supervision fees and the $65 processing fee. So how do you plead to violating condition number 10?
Not guilty.
Okay. Well, Mr. McCarty, would you enlighten us, please?
Yes. Good morning, members of the board. So I'll address the two bases in reverse order. First, as to the failure to pay, Mr. Douse, before his arrest, was employed. And as he explained to the agents during the preliminary hearing, he was making a deliberate decision not to pay the supervision fee because the limited income that he had to go to supporting his family, including Miss Dominisha, who's here with us, and his eight-year-old, and other family members that he supports. He understands that he has to pay that fee. He will prioritize paying it in the future. He hopes that when he's released, he'll be able to return to his job at Pizza Hut. And if not, he plans to seek other employment. As for the new criminal activity basis, as you already noted, those charges were refused on October 31st. Mr. Douse understands that he has to manage his frustrations in a way that don't get the police called, and he will do that in the future. The DA made the decision not to prosecute that case because after review and after speaking with Miss Dominisha, who was involved, the DA determined that it was not the kind of criminal activity that should be prosecuted. That's no excuse for getting arrested. He understands that he was arrested, and that's why he's sitting here today. But he was arrested on October 11th. He's been in continuous custody since that day. As you noted, the charges were refused on October 31st. He has now been in jail longer on this parole hold than he was on the arrest. Finally, at the preliminary hearing, the agent mentioned to me and asked Mr. Douse about some allegation about a pot of boiling water. That was not in the gist that I have a copy of, and so we had no information about that. My understanding, I think, is that it appears in the full police report, but that was not something that we were aware of at the time of the preliminary hearing, and so I'm simply making that known to the board. So based on all of that, Mr. Douse asked that the board not revoke his parole, re-release him back onto parole with any additional reprimand or programming that the board deems appropriate.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. McCarty. We appreciate that information. Ms. Dominisha, is there anything you'd like to say to the committee?
Yes, I want to add on to what Mr. Jacobs said. I wasn't aware of anything about the water situation. When the second parole officer asked me about it, I thought she was joking, really, because I didn't know anything about it. But I'm not scared of him. I'm not in danger, and I just need him home.
So, are y'all married?
Yes, we're legally married. We got married in March.
Okay, there was some confusion to that because we have, the cameras from the night of the incident, and you had indicated that he was your boyfriend, I believe, or fiance or something. But anyway, so okay, well, thank you. We appreciate the information you've given us. Mr. Douse,
Yes, ma'am.
is there anything you'd like to say to us?
Basically, me and my wife, we're in a good spot right now, you know. We have a newborn coming, you know. I'm just ready to go home. I would ask the life for my freedom today. You know, as we all know, the charges were refused. You know, I'm just ready to go home and support my family because my wife and my children need me. I'm the support. I need to get home to my family.
So how many children do y'all have together?
Well, we have one 8-year-old now, and she's now pregnant, 3 months pregnant with our newborn, with our unborn child.
Okay. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. I think we are ready to vote. I'll be voting first, Mr. Douse. As I said, we did see the officers' camera footage from the night of the incident. We've heard what your attorney has said, and Ms. Dominisha. I think that the two of you could benefit from some kind of counseling. I'm going to vote, do not revoke, return you to supervision with an added special condition, and that will be that you enroll and complete a domestic violence prevention program.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Rocha?
My vote is the same, and congratulations on the new baby.
Thank you. I appreciate it, sir.
Mrs. Jackson?
All right, Mr. Douse, my vote is going to be the same, but I will tell you, the domestic violence program, one of the things that it does is teach you communication skills, how to resolve things, how to communicate with the other person. And from listening to the video of the police body cam, it seemed to me like there was a disconnect on how you communicate and how she communicates. And you all need to find a way to communicate that doesn't result in, losing your temper or screaming at each other. That's not communication. Because if you're listening, you can't scream, right?
Right.
You're hearing, you understand the other person's point of view. Also, how much education do you have?
What? Up to the 10th grade.
Do you have a GED?
No, ma'am. I was working on it before I got incarcerated.
And you work at Pizza Hut?
Yes, ma'am.
How much do you earn an hour?
$10 an hour.
You can't support yourself on $10 an hour. How are you gonna support a wife and 2 kids?
I was trying, ma'am. I was trying. I was doing the best I could.
I understand,
So,
but don't you think you could raise your expectations of what you're able to do and maybe
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I was in the process of doing that.
And how? What were you doing to do that?
Well, I was going through the process of getting my TWIC card renewed, but by me having these felony convictions, it's a process now. So,
But we live in an economy now where people are desperate for workers.
mhm.
And even if they have to train the person, they're willing to do that.
Mm.
And I would just suggest to you that, there are other things that keep your job for now, but there are other things that you are capable of doing. Don't settle for a minimum wage job. Nobody can live on minimum wage, much less support a family. So you need to either try to get some, job training, get your GED, do something that's going to make you more employable. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
My vote today is do not revoke, return to supervision with the same conditions of completing domestic violence program and any other condition added by the chairman.
Mr. McCarty, would you please assist Mr. Douse in enrolling in that DBOC program
Yes, I can do that.
and make sure that they have some form of counseling together as a couple?
Yes, I can do that. And Darrell D should just reach out to me once he's out, and someone from my office will help you get enrolled.
Great. Thank you.
So,
So, Mr. Douse, today your parole is not revoked. You're going to be returned to supervision with that condition that you enroll in that program. And, I think, make a good relationship with your parole officer. They can help you with your TWIC card situation and maybe get you enrolled in the high set or GED program. They have a lot of resources there in New Orleans. So good luck to you, sir.
I appreciate it. Thank y'all.
And I think
Thank you, board members.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. McCarty. We appreciate your help today.